Hello everyone, Johnny Minder here, and today we are continuing to learn Japanese with Pokémon Snap. Last time we continued to check out some of the options first and foremost, but then we replayed the second course as following Oak's hint. By doing so, we unlocked the third course, and so we played that as well. We went through the camera check, but we didn't have the time for Professor Oak's check, so today we'll start with that and we'll continue from there. Okay, without further ado, let's start. And yeah, we have to load our save file. And yeah, as you can see here, we had when I click this, we had chosen the pictures, the photos to show Oak, and even one for the album, as you can see. But we didn't have time for Professor Oak's check, and so we'll do that now. The usual yosh. Again, the classical form of yoi. Same meaning, but simply used in that form. So good, nice, and so on. Simply used as an exclamation. But yeah, apart from, of course, Kazan Kosu in the middle. As a reminder, Kazan means literally fire mountain, and so volcano, course. But yeah, apart from that, we have already seen all these, so we'll continue. We have first and foremost Rapidash, Gyaroppu in Japanese. Okay, nice. I could do better with its size, literally bigness, but technically also the pose, but better that in the middle. And yeah, of course, there are some additional ones, some additional Rapidashes in the picture, and so we get some extra. And yeah, some Subarashi. Wonderful, just like in English, in the English version. Yeah, we have Vulpix. I think we had seen that, yeah, the Totemo Gutu ja. But just to be sure, we have Totemo with the doubling of the consonant for emphasis. Totemo means very. And then we have good, of course, good from English. I think we have actually seen it before, but just to be completely sure. And of course, reviewing it isn't bad. Yeah, we unfortunately got not the best size, but on the other hand, we got the more points for the pose, because as it says here, there's a particular aspect to it. What it says in yellow, it says "O." An exclamation, just like O in English. We have seen it before, and I think it was accented on the first syllable, but we'll check it quickly. Yeah, it is. Then, funny enough, considering that we have seen this this auxiliary during the previous episode last time. We have ureshi as the adjective here, not without the final e because of further conjugation. Accented, by the way. But yeah, ureshi means happy, glad, pleased, delight, overjoyed. Also joyful, delightful, gratifying, pleasant. But yeah, the fundamental meaning is happy. It's a adjective, so we can drop the e, like in this case, to add then so long, so. And yeah, this is the auxiliary I was talking about. We have seen it with adjectives, like this one, but also with a verb in the continuative form in that case. And yeah, it simply means appearing that, seeming that, looking like. And so looks, because we see it's a deduction based on how something looks, on its aspect, on its appearance even, sorry, better. Then of course this so is technically an adjective, and so in this case it's at the end, so we have instead the copula già, as usual, the one for old characters in fiction, because hoc is old. And then we also have that no u. We've seen it before. Is as a particle, as a final sentence particle. It's it adds emphasis. And yeah, it's and it says also here colloquial. I think I mentioned also but in that case it was technically another no, I think, still as a still as a particle. In that case more like na, but yeah, that's for characters usually in the past. I think I mentioned, for example, Sothis in as seen during the direct. But yeah, so the translation is simply it looks happy. And yeah, that's why we get 1,200 points instead of 1,000 or lower. The technique here in the middle. Yeah, we get a lot of points because of the other Charmanders. And yeah, quickly check. Okay, perfect. Yeah, Subarashi. Considering all that. Then we have Moltres, fire, simply in Japanese. Yeah, not the biggest size. And yeah, we have this then, a new comment for the pose. And this is are all the reasons why we didn't check them last time, because of all these additional comments. In this case, again, we have O at at the start. Then Subarashi, again, wonderful. In this case, before a noun, so refer to it and modifying it, which is posu. So simply the pose, like in our the one that's currently being scored, and then of course, as usual, the copula già. And so, oh, it's a wonderful pose. Yeah, that's why I chose this particular one, because with Moltres, with its wings open like this, and yeah, that's why. Yeah, in the middle, of course. And yeah, we got another Subarashi. This one, as you might have guessed, if you remember, because we are seeing it immediately, should be a special. We'll get a special additional score. At first, Ox simply says, well, these we have already seen the parts in white, but I still mention them. O again, Korewa, what he also said with the voice, literally, as for this, because Kore, this, the pronoun, the demonstrative pronoun, again part of the Kosoado series, go close to both the speaker and the listener, so far from the speaker, close to the listener, far from both, do the interrogative, Koso unaccented usually, do accented on the first syllable, and then of course wa written as ha, the topic particle. And so yeah, as for this, the other white part is Janaika. Janai, the negative copula. I won't repeat why we get to this point. Well, at least I mention it again. It's extended form the one I. Then ka, technically the interrogative particle, but in this case it's more as if it isn't. So yeah. We use the negative in that sense, just like in English. As you can tell, it isn't actually a question, also because of the exclamation marks after it too. But yeah, the new part is Buba no Kenka. Buba, as we have seen, it's the Japanese name of Magmar. Then we have the possessive particle no. And last but not least, we have Kenka, which is a noun, a Chinese compound. We'll check its accent. It means quarrel. Technically, then also all argument. Technically also brawl, fight, squabble, scruffle, as it says here. I say in general, also considering it's more like a fight, as in more of a quarrel usually, even though it can be used also for those other meanings, but yeah. There are other words for specifically fights. But yeah, this one, it's the most common way to say fight, as in the sense of quarrel and argument. And luckily it's unaccented, just like other Chinese compounds. Most other Chinese compounds, as we have seen before, there are exceptions. And yeah, so if it isn't a fight of magmars, and this is why I chose this specific photo. And then, as usual, again, the same structure. If it is literally a fight of magmars, being this match, being like these matches in like this, it has a value of 800 points. Yeah, we've seen that before, simply retranslated it, considering the additional part. But yeah, it was a special additional score. Then we have our usual scores, the size. Then I also chose this picture for this, since they're breathing fire. Ox says this, and we get more points. O again, O. Korewa as for this. And then we get again so, in this case with the adjective Atsui. In this case, actually the one hot to the touch, because it's referring to the fire, the flames. In this case, there's another Atsui, usually written with a different kanji, which means hot as in weather, and it was actually the one we saw last time, even though I thought the other way around at first. Yeah, this one definitely too hot to the touch. It's a adjective, so we can drop the E and then add so again. So, and then of course ja, because it's an adjective. So, oh, as for this, it looks hot, as in hot to the touch. That Atsui can also be used as in hot, as in ardent and passionate, so figuratively of feeling. It's hot also as in a hot temper, fired up, but yeah, also all the figurative usages of hot. Yeah, in this case, first and foremost, physically, literally hot. Yeah, we get more points. Yeah, in the middle. And yeah, of course, we get also more points because there are two. And yeah, so we got a lot of points. Then we have Charmeleon, Risado in Japanese. Yeah, perfect pose. Good thing we barely we got enough points for the size, otherwise we wouldn't have continued. But yeah, that way we got also those the 1000 point for the pose and then the doubling. Last but not least, we have Charizard, Risadon in Japanese. The size. And of course we get another O for the pose. In this case, O Sugoi Honoja. Again, O. Then we have Sugoi. We have seen it last time. It means technically, literally would be terrible, as in dreadful. But by then it becomes also amazing, as in terrific. notice the similarity also in English between terrible and terrific. And yeah, that's more often than not you see the second usage as in amazing, wonderful. Also awfully as an adverb, but more often than not as simply very or immensely, like we have seen last time. So yeah, we have this amazing, technical, potentially dreadful, both apply in this case. Hono, which means flame. We've seen it in previous series, not sure if this also this one. But yeah, it means flame. It actually comes from he, accented. In this case, changed into ho because it's there are some strictly Japanese words that have two forms. One used, it is the one usually used nowadays. One used on its own. The other one when in compounds. Like in this case, we have ho instead of he. Then we have the possessive particle no, and then we have this o, which was actually ho originally, but then it evolved the ho, and so actually po. Then the p fell because it was in the middle of the word. But yeah, ho, which is used also nowadays and is accented, means ear of a cereal plant and so on. So literally a fire ear, as in that kind of ear, and so figure that's why the meaning then it becomes flame. And then of course the usual copula, since hono, by the way, should be accented on the first syllable if I recall correctly, but we'll check. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a noun, so the copula then. And yeah, so the translation is, oh, it's a great, amazing, also dreadful potentially, both make sense in this case, flame. And yeah, we get more points. In the middle, Subarashi, again, luckily. Anyway, with that we've got them all. And yeah, with that we got another Jitsuwana. As a reminder, well, the accent is on the tsu, Jitsuwana, as we have heard. Literally, as for the truth, and so this expression with the additional na as a particle for emphasis, as usual. Yeah, Jitsuwa means, as a matter of fact, by the way, in that sense, to tell you the truth, to be honest, frankly, yeah. Just as a reminder, since we keep on hearing, but yeah, when we hear that, it means that, as also mentioned by the rest of this message, that Ok has something to tell us, And so we'll go back to the lab to hear it. And yeah, again, the usual, yeah, okairi. Welcome back. I think, pretty sure it's simply welcome back in English, in the English version. Okairi, the shortened form of Okairi Nasai, what's used when someone else comes back home by the one who's still home, in this case, of course, in the lab. And then the yeah at the start as an exclamation. Hello there. Funny enough, another hi. Ayo, technically. But yeah, in this case, I'd say better hello there for a character like oh, but yeah, doesn't change. Just as a quick reminder of this. I think we have seen this before, but at least yeah, no, I actually don't think so. Maybe because of that Naka, I don't think we have I've mentioned it before. The rest we have seen it in one way or the other, but yeah, we'll quickly go through it anyway. Naka is an adverb. Technically from Naka, in this case the one, there are variants, but yeah, this one usually written with the kanji for middle, inside, interior, middle, center. Here we have the doubling of it. So literally middle, so right in the middle, but it actually becomes the meaning of Naka, by the way, unaccented Naka. The meaning is simply very, considerably. Also other similar translations, but yeah, the fundamental one is considerably, I'd say, very, technically, easily, readily, fairly, and so on. Of course, also the opposite, technically, with the negative, not readily, by no means. Also, because of that, technically also a noun used as an adjective, technically with the no particle though. And so, excellent, wonderful, very good. But yeah, the fundamental usage and meaning is very, considerably, readily, and so on. Also in the negative, but yeah, more often than not in the positive. And so yeah, in this case we have considerably. Then we have the verb gambatteru, in this case from gambaru. We've seen it multiple times, also in this very series. But yeah, we have this gan, which means stubborn, then haru, hirbaru, because with the voiced consonant and the additional duck 10, because it's the second part of a compound and it's of strictly Japanese origin. We've seen some also in Chinese compounds, but yeah, more often than not with the strictly Japanese ones. Haru, which means to stick, to pay, by the way, an accent, so haru, to stick, to paste, also to stretch, to spread, but yeah, in this case to stick stubbornly. And so yeah, to persevere, to persist, to keep at it, to do one's best. You most likely have heard gambatte or gambare in anime and so on. Also video games, if you have played some with Japanese voices. Yeah, it's a verb, Godan verb, so to make the form we have to follow the rules. It's in ru, so it becomes double consonant te. Again, most likely, first the continuative form, so ri, te, the I fell, and so te, difficult to pronounce, doubling of the consonant instead, te. Then we have this te form, because then we have ru. Actually, iru simply contracted. Iru unaccented, again as usual, means to be as in to exist. Of animate things, so people and animals, but used after the form of a verb. It's a continuing action or state. In this case, I'd say technically a state, but yeah, simply in translation, you have been doing your best considerably with that naka. Then we have again janaika. Again, same, technically negative copula plus ka, but yeah, in this case clearly there isn't the question mark at the end, and also by the context you can see that it's this expression, isn't it like in English, literally in Japanese, isn't it, but of course in English we can adapt it. Last but not least, the name of our protagonist, Toru. And so yeah, you have been doing your best, you have been keeping at it, considerably, isn't it, Toru? And it says then, this Kosu ni iku o erande goran. This maybe we have seen before when we, but yeah, as we'll soon see, it's not the exact same, because I don't think we have seen that first part, but this is more similar when we unlocked the second course, not the third one, because it was a special way to unlock it. But yeah, here it says in yellow, Kosu ni iku, because it's literally the option we can see on screen on the top left. Literally, go to course, because we have kosu, course. Ni, the particle which means to, in this case, direction. Technically, direction as in also the destination, unlike he, written as he, which is a simple direction without the destination, and then the verb iku, which means to go, unaccented. Then we have the object particle o, written as wo and pronounced as such in careful speech and singing. Then we have erande, a verb which means to choose. Erabu should be accented. We've seen it before, and it is to choose, to select, to pick out. It's a verb, common verb, so we have to follow the rules to make that a form. It's in bu, so it becomes nde. Again, because first it became be te at first. But the B voiced consonants were actually prenasalized in Japanese, in classical Japanese at the time. So it was mbi. Because of that, we actually it was simply kept the nasal m, and so affected also the following te. Again, because de was actually nde at the time, and so yeah, we get this nde written nowadays as the nasal mora on its own, and then de. Yeah, you. Professor Rock again, because we've actually just finished his check, and so we've he quickly told us that, as you can see now, that we should try to choose the option go to course ni iku, because we have simply actually, as we'll see soon enough, unlocked a new course. Yeah, last but not least, as I mentioned in translation now, we have the te form here, followed by goran. Goran is the honorific form of the verb miru. On its own, like this, it would actually be a contraction of goran nasai, by adding the verb nasaru, which means to do. It's the honorific form of suru. Should be accented if I recall correctly. We've seen it before. Yes, it is. It's a verb got a verb, so to make the continuative form, unfortunately we don't follow the rules, because these are special verbs, honorific verbs, that drop the rule and add e, most likely because it was actually at first regular, so nasa ri, but then the r fell, and so only the e remained, nasai. Continuative form to technically add masse, the imperative form of mass, which is mass, the polite, the auxiliary used to make the polite form of verbs. But yeah, nowadays mostly not used, so nasai on its own is the polite imperative of nasaru, and also used with other verbs, because again, that just like suru, it's not honorific form. But yeah, with this go ran, go is the honorific prefix for usually Chinese words, and then this ran, which is the Chinese reading of a certain kanji, which still means see. And yeah, so goran, goran nasai would be please see, but used usually in after the form of a verb, like in this case, and so do the action of the verb and see the result implied. And yeah, so again, like Temiru simply try to, in this case, please try to, since it's an honorific form, we'll see again Goran for the honorific form of the verb miru in other contexts as Goran Ninaru, but we'll see it when the time comes. For now, keep it in mind that when you see this te Goran is just like Temiru, but the honorific form. And yeah, so we can actually choose this option, go to course, and yeah, as we can already see, Professor Rock says this, we've already seen it, so I simply translate it, not go through it again, word by word. If it's Toru, also the next place, it's okay. So yeah, so the meaning is we can go to the next place. And our protagonist said again yatta, again from yaru, again from just like suru, to do, other meanings yaru actually, but the fundamental one is suru, just like suru, to do, and it's a colloquial form. In its ta form, so the past form of the verb, it becomes an exclamation, literally I did it, I did it, imply, and so yeah, I did it, as an exclamation. But yeah, so we've unlocked this new course, the riba. As you might guess also by the image on the top right, it's riba is simply river from English. Well, as the dictionary also mentions, of course, since Japanese doesn't have the distinction between R, R and L sounds, R is used, well, of course, Japanese R is used also for L, and so riba can also be liver. But yeah, in our cases, it's clearly river. I wanted to check, of course, its accent. I can find it here. I'll try quickly to check in the physical dictionary. Got the physical dictionary. Let's see if we are lucky or not. Let's see. Riba. Yeah, no, unfortunately, not even here. More often than not, we don't find some words even in the physical dictionary, but sometimes we did, so it's still worth checking. But yeah, my guess would be simply like in English, so on the ri, on the first syllable. And then we have, of course, what our protagonist says about it. So we'll check that. Yuttari nagareru janguru no kawa o kudatte ku no ka. First and foremost, we have yuttari. which is an adverb. We'll see that these forms with the tari is quite often it's common for a certain, common. Can be seen also in other adverbs, like this one. And the accent should usually be like this one, and so on the ta, you tari. It's actually because it comes, this tari is from classical Japanese, but we won't focus on that. Simply keep in mind that there are these adverbs in tari and usually accented on the ta. Yutari means comfortable, easy, as in that in the sense of comfortable, or also calm, relaxed. Also, in other contexts, loose, spacious. But yeah, I'd say the fundamental one is relaxed, comfortable, and then because of that we get also those other extended meanings. Then we have nagareru, which is a verb, which means to flow, to stream. Of course, usually first and foremost of liquids, of rivers, but also time and so on. It's the intransitive form of the verb, so something streams, flows. Other meanings, but yeah, let's focus on this for now. It's the fundamental one. Its accent is, I think, accented. Nagareru. So yeah, so far we have this flowing, calmly, I'd say, better as a better translation for that yutari in this case. And yet after this we have a noun, so it's actually technically a relative clause referred to the noun, modifying it. Noun, which would actually be the one, not the one immediately after, because this is also a noun that modifies that noun, and it's as marked by the possessive particle no, but yeah, let's go in order. First we have janguru, jungle from English. We check its accent. Yeah, luckily accented on the first syllable as expected, janguru. Then we have, as I mentioned, the possessive particle, and so this jungle modifies the following noun, which is kawa. Kawa, we'll check its accent, but I'm pretty sure it's an accent. Yes, it's an accent. Sorry, it's either, according to the dictionary, accented on the last syllable. This is the first option, or unaccented. Not strange the confusion, considering also that when we don't add anything else, they both sound the same. Words accented on the last syllable and unaccented ones. But I'd say technically the best one would be accented on the last syllable, and that's actually what the one I knew before seeing the other one and being confused by it, but yeah. So kawa means river, stream, also used as a suffix for names of rivers, like in this case. By the way, kawa as a suffix can also be found as gawa instead, as usual, again with as a suffix, and so technically the second part of a compound, and it's of strictly Japanese origin. But yeah, the fundamental meaning, river. Then we have the object particle o. Then we have this verb, kudatte, which means you might also guess it, since we have seen a related verb. It comes from kudaru, and uses the kanji for low, bottom. And yeah, kudaru means to descend. By the way, unaccented, this one, I wasn't sure. To descend, to go down, to come down. Also extended meanings, but this is the fundamental one. Let's focus on it. To descend. It's and I mentioned it, you might guess it because this kuda is also found in kudasaru, one of the verbs of giving, a polite one, this one, an honorific one. Again, in the sense that a superior gives to an inferior, maybe in the past literally, physically, that the thing given descended because the superior person stayed also higher physically. And yeah, that's why I mentioned that. But yeah, kudaru, sorry, unaccented. It's a verb godan verb, so we have to follow the rules. It's in ru, and so again it becomes double consonant te. The form required to then add ku, or better, it's a contracted form of iku, to go, which we have seen already. And so literally, in this case, as we have seen, kudaru, to descend, to go down, to come down. By adding iku after the form of kudaru, we are specifying the direction in which it goes. It goes down, of course, from our the speaker's perspective. And yes, simply it's contracted. We simply drop the e of iku, but it's still the same teiku. Then we have no, the usual nominalizer for verbs. And then we have ka, the interrogative particle. So actually, this no ka is used as a particle that usually used here. It says for endorsing, questioning the preceding statement, and yeah, which is our case. Or also lamenting reflections on the preceding statement. But yeah, simply as in this endorsing, let's say, more in this case, simply the protagonist is reflecting on the structure of this course with this, and yeah, we can translate the translation becomes a jungle river flowing calmly, going down. We have to adapt it in English. But yeah, the meaning is that, more or less, of course, but yeah, those are the elements we have. Sorry, I wanted to check something because yeah, no, it's like that because of even though unfortunately it's worth mentioning that dictionary mentions kudaru as a intransitive verb usually. Here we clearly see it with an object, so as a transitive one. But yeah, clearly the meaning is still that, more or less. Last but not least, then we have kakureteru yatsumo iru kamone. First and foremost, the verb kakureteru from kakureru. Then of course we have teru, so the teiru form. But yeah, kakureru means to hide. It's the intransitive form. I've either mentioned it or we have seen it, the transitive one, I think. Kakusu, it's that one. To hide. Again, notice in this case we have su for the transitive form, reru for the intransitive one, eru, you could say, also. Accented, both are accented. But yeah, in this case, to hide, as in something hides. To conceal oneself, to take cover. Other extended meanings, but the fundamental one is to hide. Then we have, it's a ru verb, it's done verb, so we can simply drop the ru and add te to make the te form. In this case required because then we had ru, again, contraction of I ru, so te ru, again, continuing action or state. And after that we have a noun. So this verb is in an attributive position. It modifies the following noun. If it were a sentence, would be a relative clause as usual. But yeah, the noun in question is yatsu, which means fellow, as in guy, chap, derogatory, or honestly. Well, it's used also like that, but in this case let's say more as a familiar, which is its other usage term. Yatsu is accented, by the way, on the first syllable, Yatsu. Yeah, can be used also for, actually also as a pronoun for the third person singular. Also derogatory or familiar. Technically as a colloquial form for thing, object, but yeah, let's focus on the usage for people. People, but in this case, of course, it's actually referring to Pokémon. But yeah, then we have the mo, the inclusive particle, so also, even. Then we have iru. Here in its usage as a verb on its own, to be, as in to exist. In translation, then it becomes there is, there are, more often than not. Last but not least, we have ka mo. Technically, ka again from it's the interrogative particle with this additional mo, most likely again simply the inclusive particle, also even. But yeah, when combined, ka mo, we get this particle, which means may, might, perhaps, maybe, possibly. Actually, the full expression would be kamo shirenai. Where we use the verb shireru. Well, more often than not would be used the verb from the verb shiru, both unaccented. Shiru means to know, to be aware of, and so on, but yeah, the fundamental meaning to know. Shireru could technically be the potential form, since shiru is a u verb, godan verb, we can change the u into e and add ru to make the potential form. So could be the potential form can know. But it's actually used also shireru simply because of the evolution of the language. We got also this form to become known, to be known, so simply the intransitive form of shiru. I'd say in this context of this expression kamo shirenai, as we'll see, actually the potential form can know. But regardless, they're both ru verbics and verbs, those forms of shireru. So we can drop the ru and add nai to make the negative in present or and so also future tense. So can't know or isn't known. And with those preceding kamo and technically also that verb, the main verb, it would mean more or less it can't be even known if it is like that, as in if it is the action, whatever the main verb says. And yeah, that's why kamo shirenai also used, and there we actually see I did I think I'm pretty sure also simply kamo shiremasu. Sorry, let me check. Yeah, simply also as kamo shiremasen, simply in polite speech. We replace simply the nai with masen to make masen the negative form of mas in the present or future polite because of mass. But unfortunately, I was thinking about it to potentially discriminate between the two forms. But yeah, simply, again, considering its meaning, the potential form. And yeah, simply it means all these expression to say, if we say it can't be even known if it is like that, we are saying actually if it perhaps could be, might be, it might be, it may be, like it possibly is like that, but we are not sure. It's a possibility. I'd say in this case a 50-50. We've seen other expressions where it's way there's way more certainty. But yeah, this one is more of it could be, but it might, it also could, might not be. But yeah, here we have luckily the abbreviated form quite often used instead of making the kamo shirenai or kamo shiremasen, unless of course we. But yeah, kamo is quite often found. Last but not least, we have ne, the final sentence particle. Also used as a right, well, right, isn't it? Right is the best translation, honestly. Right, as in when asking as a question, right? Don't you think? And yeah, so the translation is there might be also some, we could add in English, hiding fellows, guys, of course in reference to the Pokemon. And yeah, with that I'd say we can quickly take our usual break, around 5 minutes as usual, and when we'll be back we'll actually play this stage. So yeah, see, let's do this, and yeah, see you in around 5 minutes. And we are back. And yeah, we can now actually play the fourth course, the river.
Yes.
Let's go as usual. And our protagonist says, Yos. And yeah, with that, we have a Poliwag there. Unfortunately, as you can see, and not just because I'm not aiming. Okay, actually, I was confused that I couldn't do it with that. Yeah, we also have a Bulbasaur here, eating happily. Yeah, I was convinced that I couldn't do that. Sorry, with Pokemon food. Yeah, we have a Slowpoke here. If we use the Pokemon food, we can. Oh, that's okay. Not sure if it worked there. Yeah, wait. Let's be. We can see the Slowpoke fishing with its tail. And yeah, with that actually evolving into Slowbro. Yeah, another Slowbro. There was something, but I couldn't do anything anyway. For now. So, doesn't matter. Here we have some Metapods. These I'm actually sure, yeah, these ones I knew for sure that I couldn't do anything because I've definitely hit that Psyduck. And because of that, he starts jumping like that. I wanted to potentially get a better photo, but of course you have to know exactly when jumps out, unfortunately. Like that, yeah, these we can do anything, and there's a good reason for that actually. Ooh, we got a Cloyster, nice. Okay. Yeah, we got also that, and that button. This gate, so you might guess what that's for. If I can get, yeah, I can get a Pikachu. And yeah, if you photograph him, he then starts running like that. Yeah, unfortunately I don't think I got particularly good photos of some of these, but yeah, we got to the end. As you might have guessed, because of that switch, and that gate, also because of my hints, that will be back here. But yeah, first let's go through the photos. Yeah, some really bad photos there. Here, a much better one. Would be nice to get these jumping ones. But they're really bad. But yeah, first and foremost, let's not forget that what interests us are, since these are new Pokemons, their names, their Japanese names. And yeah, first and foremost, we have a Poliwag called Nyoromo in Japanese. Nyoro from Nyoro Nyoro, as you might guess by its sound, an onomatopoeia, and also the doubling. Nyoro Nyoro should be accented on the first syllable, and it is like other onomatopoeias. most other onomatopoeias like this. It means slitheringly, or better, wriggling, slipping and sliding. In our case, let's say more like wriggling. Curious what Bulbapedia says. Yeah, wriggling. Then we have this mo, which honestly it's not easy to guess like this on its own. The guess on Bulbapedia is from Kodomo. Kodomo means child, children. Technically children because that domo is well, not this one in particular actually, because it will use a different kanji, even though it's related. Domo would be also for the plural, pluralizing suffix. But in this case it's actually used simply attached to ko, most likely because ko on its own would be more ambiguous otherwise, even though it's still used. Ko on its own would already be child. I think we have actually seen it, or at least mentioned it in previous or a previous series, or here. Ko on its own unaccented. But yeah, we had this domo. But nowadays kodomo is used as its own word, which means child, children. By the way, is also unaccented. And yeah, so quite often when you want to speak about a child, children, you use this kodomo. And yeah, most likely that's it says that it's from that, considering that it's the lowest stage of this evolution line, and so because of that, it's technically the child stage of the poly family. Then we have well, let's choose our picture. I wanted one of these jumping ones for the potential additional points, and of course also comment. But yeah, in this case I actually, since we'll be back, I'll try to get a better one next time. But for now, let's pick this one. You might get even some extra bonus points because of the polywag you can barely see behind this one. After that, we have Bulbasaur. In Japanese called Fushigi Dane. It's a really interesting name and funny one, because first and foremost, it means it's a compound between Fushigi, I don't remember if I've mentioned it in a series, or at least commented it because of the Fukashigi in the title of the upcoming Yoshi game. But anyway, Fukashigi would technically be the extended form, but nowadays Fushigi is the most common one. should both be unaccented, but we check. Yes, Fushigi is unaccented. Fukashigi means Fukashigi is actually accented on the ka. Fukashigi. But yeah, nowadays Fushigi is used more often than not. The only difference is that Fukashigi has that ka, which means possible, can, also, and well, the fundamental meaning is can. It's also used as ka, the Chinese reading, of course, in compounds nowadays. Technically, there's also its strictly Japanese reading, but more often than not, that's written in hiragana nowadays. But yeah, it has that meaning, can. The fu before it is not, a prefix which means not. And so would be cannot, and then shigi. In the form used nowadays, it's simply not, and then shigi. But yeah, shigi, we have first shi, which is the kanji for the verb to think. Gi, nowadays used usually for deliberation, consultation, debate, consideration also technically. And so yeah, that in its extended form would be can't, cannot be thought, imagined, and considered. Again, in the modern form used nowadays, simply not not imagined, thought, as in more like imagined, or considered. Also, as I also looked for it, and shigi would mean to imagine and comprehend in Chinese, and yeah, like I mentioned, to imagine, and then that considered as in also comprehended. And so yes, something that can't be imagined and comprehended, isn't imagined and comprehended in the modern form. But yeah, all that to simply make this adjective, na adjective, also technically a noun, but more often than not a na adjective, which means, well, technically also wonderful, marvelous, as it says here, but the fundamental meanings are strange, mysterious, because of that original meaning of fukashigi or fushigi. Technically also incredible, amazing, better, curious, miraculous, potentially, but yeah. Yeah, it's simply keep in mind the fundamental meaning, strange. Also seen when used as an adverb, which takes the particle to in this case, actually seen according to the dictionary. Strangely enough, oddly enough, for some reason, curiously, So I say strange and curious, the best fundamental meanings to keep in mind. And then we have this Dane. From Tane, again because it's the second part of a compound of strictly Japanese origin. Tane means seed. Actually accent on the first syllable, so Tane. Seed, especially of a plant. All the other extended meanings. But yeah, the fundamental one is seed. So yeah, literally would be strange / curious seed. But it doesn't stop there, and that's why it's funny and it's an interesting name. Because as I mentioned, fushigi is an adjective. And so you could, at the end of a sentence, you could add, you should add the copula. In plain speech, da. And then you could add the final sentence particle, ne. And so it would become, it's strange, curious, right? Isn't it? And yeah, so it has these two interpretations. It's this wordplay, Bulbasaur's Japanese name. The fundamental one is definitely Fushigi plus Tane, also considering the other names of the evolution line, but yeah, there's also that play with da, ne. Yeah, we can choose our photo. Yeah, we want one where I don't remember. Well, of course, unfortunately, those are too far. Then one, it's we try to get one where it's eating at least, so not this one. It was also far, honestly. This one is technically bigger, but it's cut. I try this one. Okay, so let's continue. Then we have Slowpoke. In Japanese, Yadon. I'm laughing also because there's a song in Japanese about focusing on this Yadon, on Slowpoke. I'm not sure. Maybe if you simply type Slowpoke song, you can hear it. Or maybe Slowpoke Japanese song. Yeah, no, even just Slowpoke song, you should find it. But yeah, let's not focus on that. But it was that's why I was also laughing. Yeah, Yadon most likely comes from Yadoka. Well, there are several possibilities mentioned here on also on Bulbapedia, but yeah, the fundamental one, which was what I would have said. Well, they're all quite important technically, and that's why they mentioned them all. First, we have Yadokari, a compound noun from Yado, accent on the first syllable, which means lodging, inn, technically hotel, but I'd say more the best the fundamental meaning is lodging, or also inn, you could say. Then we have Kari, from a verb, kariru, which means to borrow, unaccented. It's a ru verb, it's a verb, so we can drop the ru, and so we get the contributive form, and so the corresponding noun. Borrowing, also because of that loan. Borrowing, the fundamental meaning. So technically, yadokari would mean borrowing of a lodging. And so it's actually used for hermit crab, by extension, of course. Simply, literally, also as renting a house. Or because of that, also a tenant. By the way, is unaccented, so, well, luckily, like, Kari, keeping it in mind. It could also be from Yado Nushi. Again, we have Yado again, which means lodging. Then we have Nushi. Accented also on the first syllable on its own. Means head of a household and so on. Leader, master. Also owner. Other extended meanings, but yeah, the fundamental ones are head of a household and so on, leader, master, and owner. And so literally Yado Nushi, accented in this case on the do, Yado Nushi. One of the typical spots for the accent for such compounds, as we've seen, either on the first syllable of the second part of the compound or the last syllable of the first part of the compound, like in this case. It can mean also landlord or innkeeper, even more literally. Yeah, of course, also by extension, landlord. But in biology is used as a host, as in a parasitic host. And yeah, you might guess, see why we have this hermit crab, also the old, and this parasitic host when speaking of Slowpoke, because of the whole matter of the evolution into Slowbro. Also technically Slowking, but it wasn't there at the time. It's also worth mentioning, but we'll see it soon enough, that it's also a shortened form of the Slowbro's name, which is Yadoran. Last but not least, we have this Don, which, considering the Pokemon we're speaking of, is most likely the one from Don, the Chinese reading of the kanji, which means dull. Slow, of course, as in dull-brained. By the way, also used on its own, I've seen in the dictionary, so accented and accented on the accented. Because of course it couldn't be accented elsewhere if accented. It's accent on the first mora because it's a single syllable. Don. And yeah, so it makes sense considering that Slowpoke isn't the brightest of the bunch. Yeah, we'll try to get wonder if this might be technically better in a way, but this one could be another one. While I would have liked to take one where it's fishing, I could technically use this one while it's evolving. I'm worrying about the score again, but at the same time, we want to see. Well, let's do it again like this. We'll get first this, then we'll try to get another picture like that, and we'll see then which one is the best. Could take the one where it's actually straight up evolving, not the best. And none of these are the best anyway, so we'll use this one. And by the way, yeah, we can see Yadoran, the Japanese name for Slowbro. Let me see quickly. Also, if Bulbapedia has additional meanings for this name. Well, again, the ones already mentioned, technically, there's also, it comes from a name, a proper name, Yadoranka, which is a name of a singer-songwriter who had worked for Konami. And yeah, there was a contact with, and yeah, it's seemingly a former colleague of hers later joined Game Freak and brought her name to mind while naming Adoran. But yeah, of course, then also the other meanings definitely still apply. But yeah, we've chosen this one. Let's see. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have great ones for Metapod for obvious reason. We'll choose this one. Metapod is called in Japanese Toranseru. From Torans, from transform, Seru, from cell, both English names, so transforming cell. But funny enough, as Bulbapedia also mentions, could be a pun, technically an anagram with a slight modification of the term Randoseru, accented by the way on the se, Randoseru, which is a particular type of backpack used by elementary school children, apparently from Dutch, ransel. It says also firm side leather or synthetic leather. Yeah, the other things are as I've already mentioned. Yeah, it's the typical elementary school children backpack. You might have seen it in anime, dorama, or like such things. manga. But yeah, if you move the do at the start, and then of course remove the voicing, the duck 10, not that big of a change when it comes to wordplay, honestly. Yeah, you get Toransuru, so yeah, it's possible that's that, but yeah, definitely also transform and sell. And yeah, we'll choose this one. Fortunately, we don't have better ones. Then we have Psyduck. Funny enough, in Japanese, simply called Kodaku. Want to also open it still, the Bulbapedia page. But yeah, Daku, of course, from duck, English duck. And that ko before it, it's technically the one for, could be the one for children, for child, which we have already mentioned. It can also be used as a prefix with another kanji, which is the one which means small, and is used as such a prefix, small something. Because technically ko, the one for child, is used more as a suffix. So yeah, literally would be simply small duck, even though definitely that ko as a prefix with the kanji for small is definitely still related to ko, the word for child, again unaccented as already mentioned. I wanted to check Daku, the accent, just to be sure if available. Yeah, it is, and it's accented on the first syllable as expected, so Daku. And yeah, so literally simply small child duck. Not this picture, as funny as it is. Unfortunately, I didn't get particularly good ones. Yeah, unfortunately, there it's funny enough. Maybe this one is technically the best. But because I'm worried about especially the size first and foremost, but then the pose. But yeah, let's try that one. Before I didn't get. Okay, yeah, I did get at least a shelter. And yeah, it's actually simply like in English, as you can see, Sharuda. So yeah, same of course. First and foremost, shell, clearly. Accented, by the way, on the first syllable as expected. And then this da at the end, most likely from shelter, since of course, considering the Pokemon, they use the shell as a shelter. Yeah, my guess would be that one as well. Again, notice in this case the voicing to not straight up keep it as shelter, but yeah, still it's for the wordplay. Technically, I could say also a da, as in the party, the copula, with a longer vowel could be also potentially, but yeah, first and foremost, let's say shell plus also shelter. Yeah, really bad ones when it comes to their fire, we'll try this one. With that, we can actually then check its evolution, actually also included. This one is different in Japanese compared to English. Because Cloister's Japanese name is Parushen. First and foremost, well, we have that Shen, which could simply still be from Shell, Sheru. They simply changed the Ru into N for stylistic purposes, of course, and make it less obvious in this case. The Paru at the start most likely is the one from pearl, so Paru in Japanese, without the lengthening of the vowel. But of course, when using it as a word, you should keep it and yeah, accented on the first syllable is expected. So yeah, from pearl and shell with those changes. Let's see if we have a decent one. You know, these are so far that honestly I'd rather try with the one on its side here. And yeah, then we have of course this Pikachu. Unfortunately, really bad ones. I didn't get a good one with Pikachu running. We tried this one, but yeah, definitely won't beat the Pikachu on Electrode. There were a couple of pictures I wanted to take for the album, which we also still have to check all the writings there, but unfortunately we won't be able to do it today, and for sure at most I'd say today we might be able to go through Professor Oak's check. We'll try to do so. Quickly I wanted to save this picture of Psyduck because it's funny. Maybe also yeah, this moment where we can see Slowbro already evolved and also the shelter still there. But yeah, let's go to the professor and so do his check. We should have at least a couple of writings, I think. Yeah. Unfortunately, by picking this one, we won't get potentially a writing here, but yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, barely can see. Also, an additional Poliwag, and so we get 30 points. Yeah, was a wonderful picture. And yeah, I wanted to choose one of these for Bulbasaur because of the pose. By giving it the Pokemon food, it again says "O ureshiso na." Sorry, in this case it's slightly different because I'm pretty sure we haven't seen Kao before. When we saw this similar writing, but yeah, it says "O," again "O ureshiso na kaoja." First and foremost, we have again ureshiso. We've already seen it. ureshi, happy, drop the E, add so, and so looks happy. It's an adjective, so we can then add na to then connect it to the following noun, modifying it. Noun which is kao, and this is what we haven't seen before, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think it simply said ureshi so ja in the previous instance. But yeah, in this case we have instead kao, which means face. By extension, of course, also look, as in expression, countenance, other extended meanings, but yeah, in our case it's technically face, but yeah, more likely expression. In our kao is unaccented. Yes, it is unaccented. And yeah, then of course we have the copula, ja. And so yeah, o, it's literally could be in this case, considering that a face that looks happy, or a happy looking expression. Yeah, then we get the technique. And also, of course, there's the Bulbasaur, the background. Yeah, this one will be really bad. Yeah, already from the size. Yeah, it is Oshino. So yeah, Oshi, as a reminder, means regrettable, disappointing, unfortunate. Yeah. In English, it was translated as it became in the English version, you were close, even though it isn't like that in Japanese, but it's pretty funny. But yeah, then we have our Slowpoke. Okay. We don't see the yellow for so an extra points, but we have an additional writing because it's the start of him fishing, and so Oak says do yara suryo suru yoja. First and foremost, we have do. Well, do yara technically, but let's start with do. Again, one of the koso ados words with the additional u, and so long o becomes accent on the first syllable, since it's the do, the interrogative one. Do means how, in what way. Yara on its own would be a particle, which means what with A and B. Better, clearer is such things as A and B. Usually used, as you can guess by this A and B mentioned in the translation. You have a noun, then yara, another noun, yara, A and B, and so on, A and B and the like. So yeah, we have these two nouns and such things and the like. In this case, however, we have this do before it. Do yara means, well, The second translation is actually most likely the closest one, considering the meaning of yara, which is somehow or other. So by extension also with difficulty, barely, after fashion. But the one more common, and that's why it's the first one, that is also in this case, possibly, apparently, seem likely, seemingly. I'd say seemingly is the best translation. Then we have tsuri, which comes from the verb tsuru, actually an accented tsuru, which means to fish, to angle, to fish. Also by extension to lure in, to tempt, and so on. But yeah, the fundamental meaning to fish, to angle. Tsuru, unaccented. It's a verb, godan verb, so we can change the u into it to make the continuative form, and so also the corresponding noun. Tsuri, also likely unaccented, as per the rule, means fishing, angling. Then we have the object particle o. Then we have suru, to do. So literally to do fishing. And then after that we have yo. Again, the usual noun we have seen so many times. Would mean form, style, design, way. Form, style, design after nouns as a suffix. Also like, similar to, for nouns. For verbs is way to, method of doing, the action of the verb. But more often than not, appearing, looking, again from those meaning, form, style, form, let's say the fundamental one. Then of course it's a noun, so we have the copula già. So it's seemingly, it appears, we have that do yara introducing it, but then it's also with the yo. It appears that it's doing fishing, literally, it's fishing. Yeah, we get 100 points. Subarashi, luckily. Then we have slowbro. Okay, luckily big enough. The pose somehow still works. Technique. Okay. Nothing, nothing because of the evolution, but luckily it was at least decent. Technical wonderful, according to Oak. We have Metapod. Okay, actually decent enough considering the limits for now. We have this Psyduck. Yeah, no. Really bad, but I doubt the other ones would have been much better. We have Cloyster. Perfect. Yeah, this was actually a good one. Yeah, the other ones farther would have been way riskier. Yeah, unfortunately we won't get a good score for this, but we'll see. We get this instead still the Korewa because it's a special picture. And it's Speedo Star Pikachu. So yeah, Speedster. I wonder if I can find it. I doubt also the accent. Yeah, no, not even not even the word itself in the dictionary. But yeah, speedster clearly, and then Pikachu, of course. So speed. If it isn't speedster Pikachu. And then the usual, if it's speedster Pikachu, its value is 800 points, so technically better than the previous one. But yeah, and then of course we get Oshino for the rest. And yeah, then we get this with, I think I skipped last time, so we'll quickly go through it. First and foremost, we get Cora Cora. Actually, the doubling is an addition here for emphasis, definitely. It would be Cora on its own, usually. Which is hey. Used as more often than not to scold or reprove someone. Technically also used to call out to someone, but yeah, the fundamental one is the hey used to scold or reprove. Here with the doubling, technically for emphasis maybe, or technically by repeating it, maybe it's kind of less intense in a way, despite what I thought at first. But yeah, literally, hey, hey. Well, sorry, let's check its accent as I expected is on the first syllable, so Cora. Then we have Mae no Hoga Yoku Toretoru Zo. Mae, we've seen it before, funny enough, considering its meaning. It means before, as in both before a building, for example, or before, as in time. Accent on the first syllable, Mae. Then we have it's a noun, so we have the genitive particle, the possessive particle no, to then connect it to the following one. Ho, we've seen it before, direction, way, side also, area. Used also for the side of a comparison, like in our case. The side of the previous of before, the previous time. Then we have the subject particle ga. Yoku, which is the from yoi again. We drop the e and add ku to make the adverbial form, and so the adverb in this case, so well. Toretoru, from toru, to take, in this case is the one specifically for pictures, for photographs. It's a verb code verb, so we can change the u into e and add ru, not in this case because of further conjugation, to make the potential form can take. Then we would actually drop the ru and add te to make that a form. But again, then we would add oru, the humble form for the verb iru in this case. There are other oru, but this one is that. Same meanings and also same usage after the form, so continuing action or state. Here contracted into te oru toru. And then at the end, there's all usual male term or language for force, a command, I'd say also simply emphasis. And yeah, apart from the Cora, I think we have seen that before. It means the one, the side literally of before has been taken. You were able to take it better. We have to change the well into the comparative because, of course, of the O of the side of the comparison. And yeah, we have this, which I don't think we've seen before, so we quickly check it. どっちの写真をレポートに残すんだ? どっち first and foremost, from どちら. Again, we have the do of the Kosovo series, so the interrogative. With chira, it becomes way. So, which way, or even better, which direction. Used also for which one, especially of two alternatives. In this case, then contracted into .c. We have seen, I think, with the other words, koshira, and so on, that would be unaccented as per usual, but their forms kochi, sochi, and so on would be achi, would be accented on the last syllable, sorry. I'll quickly check it just to be sure. Kochira, yes, unaccented. Kochi, accented on the last syllable, so those are the exceptions. For dochira and dochi, is the rule prevails for both. And so it's accented on the first syllable. Dochira, dochi. Same meaning, either way. So, which one? Then we have the possessive particle no. We have shashin, unaccented, means photograph. The object particle o. Reporto, the usual report. As a reminder, of course, accented on the po in Japanese because the accent doesn't shift there for these English words. The particle ni, into, in, because then we have the verb nokosu, leave behind, or also leave undone. In our case, to set aside, to save in the report. Should be accented if I recall correctly. Yes, it is. And then, of course, nza, again from noda, here contracted with the n. Then za, the copula used by Hawk. It is that, the fact is that, the explanation is that, and so on. And so the translation is which photo between these two, as you can see, and that's why we use dochira or dochi in this case, dochi. Will you, in this case I'd say we have to use the future, leave, as in set aside, save in the report. Yeah, we'll save the better one. Oops. Sorry, I skipped that. do this. Sorry. We quickly go here. And yeah, there wasn't much, but it was still, I still wanted to show it. We have the E, the icon of the button, the shashi no kosu, the with, so the means, shashin again, and o no kosu, so with the A button, save, set aside the photo. And yes, so simply it was that. Go back to the game. And yeah, we get another Jitsuwana. But of course we don't have time, we even went beyond our usual hour, so I'll actually save here. And yeah, we'll end the stream here. Today we have finished, we've done the Professor Oak's check for the third course. We've seen what Oak had to say after that. Simply that we unlocked the fourth course. We checked its name, its description, well, what the protagonist had to say about it. We played it. We've chosen the photos for it. Also went through Professor Oak's check. And so next time we'll actually see what happens after that. As we have seen, we had Jitsuwana again. And yeah, so that we'll do that next time. So should be on Monday unless plans change. While on Sunday we'll play a game mostly just for fun, again unless plans change. Unfortunately I couldn't think of anything else. I'd say we can simply play some Mario Kart 8 Deluxe online. If someone wants to play it together with me, of course, feel free to come and join. I was thinking of playing specifically as Link because of the upcoming Zelda game. But yeah, simply that. Unfortunately couldn't think, and I doubt I'll have the time to think of something else, so most likely I stick to that. Okay, see you on Sunday for that, on Monday for the continuation of this series, and yeah, see you next time.